everyone. Welcome back to Shreever's podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Nichelle, and today's guest is Eric. Hi, Eric.
Hello, how are you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Thanks for having me.
So, can you tell our listeners and your listeners a little bit about yourself as a musician?
Well, I've been a professional entertainer singer for 43 years now. I've done everything from traditional country music to what they called mainstream country music back in the 80s, and a touch in the 90s as well, and Western swing music, which I've also done pretty much since I was 15 years old, my entire music career. And for the last 15 years, Western swing music is almost entirely what I've been doing, with a touch of traditional country music as well.
Wow. For my listeners who don't know what Western swing music is, can you give us a little intake on what that is?
Absolutely. Well, a lot of people have heard Western swing music and love it and don't realize it's Western swing. They just think it's traditional country music, which is certainly the case for me a long, long time ago. But a gentleman named Bob Wills created Western swing music, and another gentleman named Milton Brown had a big part in it. The music originated out in the plains of West Texas, where the cotton farmers and the cattle ranchers would have barn dances weekly, and they'd bring the fiddles and guitars and mandolins, and they'd have dances, big barn dances. And so the music's evolved from then. Bob Wills is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Country Music Hall of Fame for his creation of this wonderful music. The way I describe it to people that aren't familiar with it, I'd say imagine if Frank Sinatra and Hank Williams Sr. collided, or the Glenn Miller Orchestra and fiddle music, country fiddle music collided. It's big band, it's big instrumentation. It was all originated around the dance. It's the best dance music in the world, in my opinion. And I think that anyone would have a hard time arguing that. It's jazz chords. It's all created with jazz music. They call it cowboy jazz, is another name for Western swing. And those who listen to it, I've turned a lot of people onto it for the first time in their lives in the last year or two. And they've all fallen in love with the music. And the one thing that they say is you can't keep your feet from tapping or your head from bobbing. It's a music that really makes you move. It's hard to sit still when Western swing's being played. Yes.
Yes, when I listened to your music earlier today, then yeah, you definitely danced to it.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that.
So what made you want to become a musician?
Well, I don't really consider myself a musician, although I've been blessed and lucky to work with some of the finest musicians in the world. I'm more of a singing cowboy and an entertainer, and that's how I label myself. But I grew up in a very small community in southern Colorado, where the number one industry was horses and mules, and there was big horse outfits where they bring in thousands of horses, and cowboys from Montana, Nevada, North and South Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico would all come to this valley, the Vallecito Valley, to break horses and to work for these horse outfitters that would do pack trips through the Weminuche Wilderness, which is the largest wilderness in the United States other than Alaska. And so I grew up around that cowboy culture. I grew up with all these old-time cowboys, the last of the real deal. That played a huge influence on me. There were dances every Friday and Saturday night, and my parents would take me along. So I learned to dance at a very young age. And I started singing on stage at a very young age. And just that's how I basically got my introduction to country music, Western music, cowboy music, and been hooked ever since. And once I started getting paid, I thought, boy, this beats the heck out of stacking hay or mowing lawns or whatever, shoveling manure. And so I stuck with it.
That's amazing. What do you like most about playing your music?
Well, our music, like I said, is based around the dance. So I love the crowd interaction. When we play big festivals, and it's always a dance. Rarely do I play for listening audiences, although I do some shows like that. But I prefer to play for an audience that's dancing, having a good time, celebrating, enjoying their time away from work, whatever the case may be. And I just love that human interaction with the people. And I guess that's was the biggest thing.
That's amazing. So I wanted to play 2 of your songs, and with your permission, I wanted to play 2 of your songs on here.
Yes, ma'am. You can play any of my music anytime you'd like. Matter of fact, I highly recommend it.
All right. Okay, 1 second. Let me get it.
I spent a year one night in New York City. I tried to find a girl to dance with me, but I couldn't find a bar with country music. So I headed down to Nashville, Tennessee. I spent a lot of time down on Broadway. The music from those bars was country gold. The girls there were fine, but not the Tulsa kind. Oklahoma's calling me home. I'm Oklahoma bound, where Bob Wills music can be found. Where two-step is the thing, they still love their western swing. I'm Oklahoma bound. The ladies there still love the dancing cowboy. At closing time, they're up for having fun. If you want to stand a chance, you best know how to dance. I'm a rug-cutting son of the gun. I'm Oklahoma bound, where Bob Wills music can be found. Where two-step is the thing, they still love their western swing. I'm Oklahoma bound.
Okay, there. That's really, really good. I love it. I love it. Like you said, it does get you up and singing and dancing.
Thank you very much. That's a song that myself and Curt Ryle wrote together, and radios really loved that song. Matter of fact, we've had great success with our songwriting. But that was the first song that he and I ever wrote together. And we wrote that song in about 15 minutes. He wrote a line, I wrote a line, he wrote a line, I wrote a line. Literally, we went back and forth like that, and the song was done in 15 minutes. I was thrilled with the finished product, and it's been well received on radio around the world. So we're happy about that.
Yeah, I think I've heard it on the radio before.
Nice, yeah. Glad to hear that.
And then here's the other one I wanted to play on the radio. I mean, not on the radio, on here.
All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see that I'm no good without you? Take my arms, I would lose them. Take my lips, I'll never use them. Your goodbye left me with eyes that cried, and I know that I am no good without you. You took the part that once was my heart, So why not take all of me?
So can you tell us a little bit about that song as well?
You bet. That's an old jazz standard. Many people recorded that. Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Willie Nelson, and many others, I believe. And that's a song I loved since childhood. We started doing that in my 30s. I was playing the A-room circuit in the West. We toured an 11-state region. We, being my band, which was called Eric Diamond and the Rocky Mountain Playboys. We started doing that song. I loved it so much that I, told the band that we were going to be adding it to our live show, and I passed out rehearsal tapes, and we learned the song and been performing it ever since. And then the last 8 years, I've been working with the Western Swing Society, and we do that at all of our shows live. It's a song that the audiences love. It's a song that always packs the dance floor. It's one of my all-time favorites. I'm not sure who the songwriter was. I have that information. I just off the top of my head, but people ask me, did you write that song? And I'd say, no, I wish I did, because I'd be well past retirement if I had.
That's a really good song. It's a really good song.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. And when we were finished with the recording session, Curt Ryle, who was the producer, who had produced artists like Mel Tillis and Gene Watson and Trisha Yearwood and Leanne Womack and Billy Ray Cyrus and Dean Dillon, many others, big stars. He felt like he really liked the way it turned out, and he felt like it should be the title track of the album. I was in agreement. I thought it was a wonderful song to have as the title track. It's one of my top songs to perform live. I love doing that song live. We do it live at every one of our shows. So I was thrilled that we decided to make that the title cut of the new album. By the way, the new album, if you get a chance, we're available on all music platforms worldwide. You can get our music eye to eye. You can any of the platforms out there. You can check us out on YouTube. Type out Eric Diamond, All of Me. You'll go to both albums, the new album, which you've been playing songs off of, Eric Diamond, All of Me, and the old album, Eric Diamond, They Call Me a Playboy. Both those albums in their entirety, 22 songs you can find on YouTube or any music platform worldwide. You can follow me on Facebook. You can friend me on Facebook. Send me a Facebook Messenger if you'd like to buy physical copies. We have CDs of both albums, and we have a double album thumb drive for sale. So, yeah.
Wow. What was your process for writing your album? Like, how long did it take for you to write the album?
Well, it actually didn't take too long. I had been thinking of songs in the back of my head that I certainly wanted to record. We being Curt Ryle and I, Curt Ryle is the producer for the record label and half owner in the label that I was with. We were going to sit down and write some songs for the album. And then he had a couple songs that he wanted to pitch to me to see if I wanted to record. One was a song written by Edward Williams, who's a songwriter from East Texas, man, off the top of my head, I can't think of it. It's the only slow ballad on the album. It's a slow swing, beautiful song. Golly, if you gave me a minute to get up from my seat, I could tell you the name of it.
Oh yeah, allowed? You can. You can.
I'll be right back. I'm right here. It'll be quick. I promise.
All right. I'll just play some of the music some more. We get started.
I'm back. So the song we're talking about is called "When Right Is Wrong." It's a slow swing tune, beautiful. Sounds something very much like what George Strait would do in the early days. So when I arrived at the studio, I flew into Nashville. I flew from New Mexico to Nashville. Curt told me that they had this song on hold for Tony Booth, who's a fantastic, star, and had many big #1 hits. And the songwriter Edward Williams said, if Eric Diamond wants to record this, let him have it. So after I listened to the song, I said, yeah, I'll definitely record that, and was thrilled to do so. And then another song, If I Ever Need a Lady, was a song that they pitched towards me, and it's definitely Western swing, honky tonk, maybe leans a little more towards honky tonk, which is very similar, and it all works well together. And I recorded that. The rest of the album, pretty much, Curt had given me artistic freedom, and I because I'm a dancer, not only dancing for my own pleasure, but I've been a competition dancer for years, and I tell everybody I dance 20 times better than I sing. But I picked music that I knew the dance audience would like, because I've been amongst that crowd for decades. And the last 15 years, I've been heavily involved with the Texas Western swing and dance scene. And so, I wanted to choose songs that meant, which I always do, which mean a lot to me. I don't sing any songs that I really haven't either lived or that I can relate to deeply. And one of the comments that we get the most from around the globe is that this new album, every single song on it is good. More people have commented than you can imagine. And the album is currently up for 2 Ameripolitan Awards.
Wow.
It's up for 6 International Singer-Songwriter Association Awards. We're up for 5 awards at the Red Carpet Awards in the Netherlands. It was nominated and in the top 5 for Cowboy Swing Album of the Year by the International Western Music Association. And in October, I was notified it's the most played Western swing album on radio in the world. So we're thrilled about all those accolades. We're hoping that leads to more work, because basically what I care about most is I want to be working. When I played the A-room circuit for 6 years, I was 11 years on the road. We went town to town, state to state, week after week. And that's what I love doing. I love living out of a suitcase. I love performing live. I love live audiences. And we're hoping that this will bring more of that our way. Yes,
that's great. There's 2 comments in here I'm going to show you. Caden says, hey, to you.
Yeah, let me mention Caden Gordon. He's just won very recently. He won Radio Promoter of the Year at the Red Carpet Awards in the Netherlands. He's also been recognized for his work in other organizations. Caden and I have been working together. We're creeping up on a year, and he's truly the best thing that's happened to me. He's the most honest guy in the music business, and that means a lot to me, because in recent times I've dealt with some very dishonest folks in the business, and I'm thrilled to be working with Caden. He makes things happen. I recommend him to all artists. He really does. He makes things happen, and we have a great working relationship, but we've actually become very good friends through our working relationship, and we hope to work together till the day that I'm gone. He's a young man. He'll be around a lot longer than I am, but I'm hoping to work with him till the end, and things are going well for us right now. Couldn't be happier. So yeah.
He is a good guy.
Yeah, he's solid. He's as good as they get.
And then we have another comment by Marie. I don't know.
Marie's wonderful. She's been very supportive of the career. She's very enthusiastic and a lover of Western swing and traditional country music. She's made some great things happen for me. She got me on a show called Carolyn's Corner, and it was the most successful show that they'd ever had. And they sent me the statistical charts. We had 4 times better response than any other show in their history. But we quadrupled their best show ever prior to that. Carolyn's a wonderful lady and her husband. And we'll be doing that show again. I've done it twice now. I went and did it in-house in Beeville, Texas. And then after that, I did a guest performance at the Victoria Opry, which is called the Crossroads Country Opry. And so, yeah, she's great. She's working on getting us on some cruise lines now.
Nice.
Which would be fun. I'll play anywhere. I'll go to Iceland. I'll go to the North Pole. Anywhere that wants some Western swing music, we'll go.
Yeah.
We will travel. Yes, ma'am.
It's definitely music that'll get you in high spirits. I think so. Like listening to your music, it's positive.
I tell people, it'll help with depression. It'll brighten up your day. Even one of my sales pitches when I'm selling CDs face to face, table to table, I tell them it ought to come with a warning label because that passion's gonna flow. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. So my last and final question before I let you go, is there any advice that you would give to musicians who are starting out or, in the process of being, musicians?
Well, I actually help a lot of young artists, and I'm willing to help anyone. A lot of artists contact me and come to me looking for help. And I try to I don't have a magic button, but I do have a lot of connections. I do have some advice, whether it's good or not is, someone else has to be the judge of that. But the country music business or the music business in general, it's not an easy business. You better be prepared for some bumps and bruises and some heartache along the way. But it's certainly worth the highs for me, or I wouldn't be doing it for 43 years. Highs and lows, hopefully more highs than lows. If anyone ever, matter of fact, I had a gal from Pennsylvania that was a rock and roll singer, and she came to me for a long time. How do I get a band started? Those are things I'm good at coaching because I've done that from square one. I've started at the very beginning, trying to get a band together. How do I book jobs? How do I get working? I've got a lot of good advice on that. Maybe a few tricks, some solid advice. All I would say is, it takes a lot of focus. I've also dealt with very talented people that say they want it more than anything. But then when I look at what they're doing, or I look at their social media, and it's 95% grab ass and 5% music, that tells me they're not serious about it. When you look at my social media, it is 100% music. I'm not in it for any other reason. I'm in it to win it, and you have to dedicate your life to it. You're going to make some sacrifices. You're going to sacrifice time with family, time with friends. Not completely, but to a degree. If you want to chase this music, it has to be your number one priority. It has to be your focus. It has to mean a lot to you because it's a tough game, and to stick with it is going to take real perseverance. Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. That's really great advice. Really great advice. I hope my listeners really pay attention to that advice.
I as well.
You have a great day. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Yes, ma'am. You have a great day. And one thing, I'd like to talk to you after the show. You can get my phone number from Caden Gordon. What I'd like to do for you, I'd like to send you a copy free of charge of each album just for having me on the show. And since you like this music, I'm going to give you 22 songs to dance in your kitchen to. So
Thank you.
Contact me. Get me your mailing address. I'll get them in the mail to you immediately. Again, everyone, if you're interested in buying the album, send me a messenger message on Facebook. Check out the album on YouTube. We're available on all music platforms worldwide. Eric Diamond, all of me. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everyone. Thank you all so much for listening to She Blurs podcast. Eric is an amazing guest. And as he said, you can go on YouTube or any platform and listen to his music. I will definitely be listening on Spotify. I will definitely be on my playlist. It's in high spirits music. So I like positive music that gets me in high spirits. And it's definitely that kind of music. I hope you all have a great day. And thank you all so much for listening to She Blurs podcast. See you later. Bye.